And I said, of course, but I have my son Tugger with me. So Tugger and I get into the car, and we go to the wash house. And then I had brought some cupcakes over to Worf's house. We're sitting by the pool, and I'm like, oh gosh, hold on. I had to go get the cupcakes out of the car. I forgot to bring them. And the next thing I know, I get back up to the swimming pool, and Tugger's dead. He drowns in Worf's pool. And I said, what's going on? How did this happen? What happened when you were supposed to chaperone? Tugger at the time was 17 years old. He was just a child. Didn't know how to swim. And Worf said, I don't know. I turned my back. It was not an accident. Worf murdered my son. We buried him that day in Worf's yard. We ate the cupcakes, had a hoagie party, and Worf and I later went to a ski boat convention because he was interested in buying a ski boat at the time. The upshot of this whole story is that during this whole debacle, Worf felt so bad about it that he got me my first job as Brunt on Star Trek: The Next Generation. It all panned out. And I guess my message to most people is, like, if you're going to have children and they end up getting into a terrible accident and in fact die, is what you can do is you can turn that into employment.
Yeah! Universe in it too.
The universe. Consider the universe. Consider the blackness, the void. It's beautiful. You know, it's so interesting. The universe is so different, unique, and creative. It's amazing they didn't come up with a better name for it, like Brab or Usk. The universe is one of the greatest mysteries of all mankind. How big is it? How many planets are inside of it? Why wouldn't we just call it Isk? You know, there's a star system about 250 billion light years away from this Best Buy theater here in New York. And if we were going to travel there tonight in my car, the first thing we would do is we'd get on 95. Well, actually, we wouldn't be able to get there by car. We'd have to take a ship. Sorry about that. But when we did get there, we'd be able to see an amazing constellation of stars that resembles a very handsome man's beard. Has anyone out there ever made a wish on Crank's Comet? Anyone? Probably not, because you can't see Crank's Comet with your consumer telescopes that you guys own. But I own a professional scope. And I looked up into the heavens, and I wished on Crank's Comet, and I said, please, I wish that my wife Paige would clean up her teeth. All the dirt around her lips makes it grow. Then I thought, why am I making a wish about those dirt teeth? She should be clean in a long-term relationship. You know, there's a passage in the Bible that says, once there was dust, there has always been dust. And it's ironic because only about 100 years ago, the universe was nothing but dust. Until the Lord gave us the Dust Buster. One of my favorite places in the universe is the planet Duran. The 5 beautiful moons that orbit around her. You have Bogo, Tartan, Lomas, Ranus, and Dardan. I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of moons to remember, but I came up with a simple mnemonic phrase to help you guys. All you have to do is think. Vagina tastes like ranch dressing.
It's so true.
How many people here are familiar with Bose-Ar's paradox? Okay, well then you guys are liars because I just made it up this morning. What Bose-Ar's paradox states is that if you ever do meet Vice Admiral Bose-Ar from the planet Neutons, you will begin to bleed out of every hole in your body. And,
Trust me, it happened to me this morning, okay? That's blood that you ain't ever getting back.
A lot of people came up to me on the streets of New York and said, Dr. Tupper, how did you become a master of the universe? I told them it's a funny story, actually. I started spending a lot of time with my best friend Dan's son. He started teaching me everything about the universe, teaching me about the meteor showers and the suns. And that boy became my mentor, the boy guru.
Well, I learned everything I know about universe from my Sensei Gary Talis. Sensei Gary Talis is not only the owner of a planetarium, but he talked me into the Dodge Stratus that I drove here today. I'm very happy with the car. I do not have